What's going on, YouTube? What the heck is going on? This is your favorite YouTuber, your number uno, your numero uno. What's going on, guys? What is going on? I'm gonna hold off a little bit. Today is your show, okay? Today is your show. I am your facilitator, your facilitator. Let me make sure that I got my feedback. Once I get that checked, video titled Panel Sunday with the Good Fellas. Panel Sunday with the Good Fellas. Chilling out with my bros, okay? Salute to Kobe. Man, Kobe is like a cousin now, a brother, a cousin, man. Whatever term you want to apply to Kobe, you're gonna apply to Kobe because Kobe has been with us since day uno. Since day uno, man. Since day uno. These are the people you don't forget when you reach 1 million. When you reach 1 million followers, you don't forget people like Kobe because they've been there in the trenches with you. That is what it's about. How are you guys doing, fellas? Just today is a show. I don't know what is going on, but I just got this news about Louisiana. What's going on in Louisiana, man? What is going on in Louisiana? What is going on in Louisiana? I promise you, fellas, I don't know what is going on. So we're gonna watch this for the first time. Let's go.
Shooting in Louisiana tonight. The attack happened at two households and left 8 children dead, with 2 others injured.
And those victims range in age from 1.
How do you have 8 children in one household? I don't understand what's going on. 8 children in two households, like is it like large families? I don't understand it, but let's get some more. Let's get some more.
Through 14, as Fox's Max Gordon reports tonight on the latest out of Shreveport.
8 children are killed in what police are describing as a domestic disturbance. 10 people shot altogether. 2 of them remain hospitalized.
This is a rather extensive crime scene spanning between 2 residences here. The ranges of the decedents are from 1 year of age to approximately 14 years of age.
How do you kill a 1-year-old, man? Man, like again, I say, I like the opportunities that America has given to me. It's an understatement. Sometimes we can't really openly express this, but we really love America, man. Despite all this bullshit that these Tariq folks say about us, like the guys that really know us, they know that some of our folks are in the military. They are Kenyans in the military. They are South Africans in the military. There are Ghanaians and Nigerians. There's a lot of Nigerians in the U.S. Army and Air Force and Navy. I mean, that's the ultimate. If you're willing to give your life up for a country that has just adopted you, there should be no questions asked, when you do things like that. But you get a few guys that will usually question your allegiance and your loyalty. But everybody's going to love their home country more, even if it's a war-torn country, no matter how poor it is. People are going to love their people more, their home country more. But there's always room for the second. And America holds second place in a lot of hearts, immigrant hearts, across the USA. Sometimes even first place. Sometimes it replaces the places that you come from. People don't even know that. Native borns don't understand this, that when a country has given you this much, sometimes it replaces the country where you're born and raised and where you have your whole family. And that could be because of what you went through, your family. Maybe a dictator killed your family. Maybe your country, even though you're born there, the political power didn't treat you right, but America did. So it's only natural and right that you feel some type of way about this country. And um I don't think those people are wrong when they feel that way because it is a great place to live. But over the last few years, I've been questioning if there's a limit to how long you should stay here because of just how things have gotten. The family structure is broken, not just in Black America. Even the white folks, they don't do good in marriages too. Asians, I was looking at a statistic today. No sound. No sound. No sound. Damn, no sound. Are you kidding me? Hello, hello. Kobe, can you hear me? I get I get a feedback. I get feedback. So that might be from your end. Sagat, salute to Sagat. Have you been hearing me this whole time? Okay, that might be Kobe's end. 8:39, he said no sound. And 8:40, a minute after, Sagat said he could hear me. I'm waiting for Kobe to come back to just to make sure. I'm using StreamYard, so this is all going through StreamYard. But yeah, eh, we've gotten to the point where some of the cultural issues in America is starting to overtake the financial advantages that we gain here. Okay. And you have two ways to deal with this. Option one is you can stay here and do your best to address these issues. Like the little bit you can do, maybe offer some classes for little kids, offer some programs for kids to come and play soccer to burn off some of their energies. Uh, Open a YouTube or start a YouTube channel where you advocate for families and relationships so that there are two parents in a household so that we can really address the core of these issues as to where greed has overtaken what it means to be mom and dad, taking care of kids and putting the children's interests first. Like this guy in Virginia, he killed his wife, but he left two children to decide life on their own. That's not nice. We shouldn't. Once you get, I know they screwed him up. Nobody wants to talk about what they did to him. They really screwed this dude up. This guy was one step away from being the governor of Virginia. Went to law school, live in an affluent neighborhood in Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia is one of the most expensive places to live in America. Married a dentist. He had everything going the way it's supposed to be done. And then two women come up with accusations of sexual abuse 20 years prior when he was in college. Whether it's true or not, he was never charged for it. But the fact that those two allegations came not when he was married to the woman or when he's dating the woman, these are things he did in college. And this woman holds that against him to divorce him and contribute to the downward spiral of this man that could have been governor. I don't agree with his politics, but could have been governor and supposedly did things right. And all of a sudden, this man loses everything. And he doesn't even get shared custody. Like I say, every man that goes through divorce should at least get shared custody, because shared custody means that you have some responsibility, like you are responsible. This man didn't even get the chance to show what he's capable of when it comes to raising his children. He had done that till they were teenagers. These kids are teenagers now. So I will not buy the talking points that this man was not a capable father. He did it throughout before these allegations, unless they were faking it all these years. So the US government and judges and lawyers and family courts and all these people, they need to really start considering men when it comes to the family court system. We may screw up from time to time, but even men of my dad's generation, they screwed up, man. My dads, they were cheats, bro. My dad was putting it in everywhere he could find it. These men in Africa, they were just chilling, bro. But they stuck around, they raised their kids, they did everything right. Why are we penalizing men for what I consider natural order? It's not right, but it's not worth that punishment. And these courts really, if the family is supposed to survive, I think these systems, they need to be a little bit lenient with the men. At least give us joint custody so that we can be in our children's lives. Because if you don't give us joint custody, you've relegated those children to be raised by moms. And this is why we end up with problems like this, where everybody is on some mental shot, ready to go. And with free guns comes a lot of problems, With free guns comes a lot of problems. Because I think I've reached that point, bro. But you don't repatriate overnight. You have to do it systematically. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to start my process of repatriation to get myself situated. And today I was happy to learn that the president of Zambia, Salutu Hakainde Hichilema, the president of Zambia, is going to extend electricity to my village. My village is about to get electricity. Actually, they've started. And a good friend of mine, I swear to God, a good friend of mine reached out to me today. That's why I love Zambians, man. I love Zambians. He's an engineer at the Zambian energy facility. He works for Zambian Electricity. And he sent me a text today because I went to college with him. I'm connected like that. Thank God I am. Sent me a text today and told me that, I kid you not, when I tell these stories, YouTube is full of lies. So people will just say, oh, no, you're lying. I swear to God, man, I'll show it to you. This guy just out of nowhere, I haven't talked to him in a while. He just sends me a message today and says, hey, because he has a farm not too far away from me. And he says, hi, brother, long time, how are you? And I said, boss, how are you, bro? And he says, good, how are you? They are connecting electricity now in Singela. How far with your project? And I'll show this to you so that you guys know. This is a guy I went to school with. You can see it's nicely framed. I kid you not. Out of nowhere, he sent me a message and says they are connecting electricity in the area just to help me out, So you look at things like this, your network is very important, man. You build a good network, you can get some things done. And this brother just hooked me up. It says, okay, and he works for the company, so I know he can help me out. He says, I'm in Lusaka, let me know when you come into town. If my area has electricity, I've got one, that's golden, bro. That's golden. We've won, right? So anyway, but I'm gonna let this play out. I'll put the link up, and I want the man to come up so that we chop it up all week. Everything we've been talking about, yesterday's video about the Kenyan story, the Dennis Sperling story, Tariq Nasheed, and all these guys now going through the copyright system to take down our channels. And all the things we've covered this week. I want you guys to come on and we're going to chop it up. All right, let's get this to play out.
It happened in Shreveport, Louisiana, early Sunday morning. Police say a gunman opened fire in at least 2 homes before performing a carjacking and fleeing the scene. Officers later shot and killed the suspect after a short chase.
We do believe him to be the only individual that fired gunshots at these locations yet.
According to Shreveport police, this is the nation's deadliest mass shooting in more than 2 years. Hours after the incident, House Speaker Mike Johnson, who represents the district, released a statement calling it a heartbreaking tragedy. Johnson saying, quote, "We're holding the victims, their families and loved ones, and our Shreveport community close in our thoughts and prayers during this incredibly difficult time."
My heart is just taken back. I just cannot begin to imagine how such an event can occur.
While police have yet to identify the gunman, they
Hey, Nana has a dirty mind. Salute to laughing like Saga, man. But how about the booty on the cops, man? How about them booties on the cops? How about them booties on the cops? It sucks that this is the tragic situation. But I didn't think the white sisters will have that Africanized, the Africanized mechanized booty on the screen. You know what I'm saying? That looks good. That looks good for a copper. You think they put some pads on the back? They put some pads on the backside? That looks pretty good. Okay? That looks good. But the question I also want to ask for those are sisters. hey, I have the best subs in the world, man. I got the best subs in the world. How about them police sisters, man? Oh man. So this female yeah, man. How about them sisters, man? How about them cop sisters? But you think the gunman is FBA? If the gunman is FBA, man, I think we need to start getting into the community to help our black brothers. We've already won the diaspora war, so now we take the war into community engagement and help them out. We can't just hate these people. We just gotta. They are black people. Even if they don't claim us, we'll claim them. We just you always have a child that is confused, right? So you just consider them confused children and help them out. So I think we're gonna put all this thing aside and we're gonna go in the community and help out our brothers. But hey, I must say, man, for white girls, I didn't think they had it like this. But if them white girls have it like this, why are we even getting passports, man? We may just have to switch the race. You know what I'm saying? They got some.
have revealed some of the victims are related to the shooter. Investigators are now asking for anyone with pictures or videos to come forward with information. Louisiana State Police have now joined the investigation and are helping process the scene and gather witness statements. Max Gordon, Fox 9.
This is sad, man.
We're also following a mass shooting in Louisiana.
This is sad. I don't know. This happened. So there's been some updates.
All right, just listening in there to community members talk.
So it looks like this is an FBA neighborhood, right? It looks from just a little bit that I've seen, it looks like this is an FBA neighborhood, you know. I don't want to beat on the blacks today because when I hear stories like this, I love children, man. When I hear stories like this, I want to put aside all the shit that we've been fighting about. What we fight about is just on the internet. But there should be a wake-up call for them that they need to work with the black immigrants because we don't have these problems. They need to work with the black immigrants, with the imported culture, the culture that we've brought to America, and maybe they can adopt some to change some things. Because if they don't, they have no chance. They've been doing this for 60 years. It's not getting better. So what do you have to lose? Right? What do you have to lose if you work with the Africans? They got no chance, man. They just have to bow down and say, bro, we fucked up. You know? I think so too. Yeah, I've come across a few guys that are pretty cool to be, you know. That's why, like I'm saying, like it's only a few guys, so we shouldn't really criminalize the whole community because they really need our help. I really think strongly that black immigrants are the only people that can help black Americans. They can't help themselves because if they could, they would have done it a long time ago. And the white folks definitely ain't gonna help them. Some will, some wouldn't. Charity here and there. But we are the only ones that can genuinely look at them and say, man, you know, look at this Louisiana guy, right? Look at this man right here. There's no way you tell me this dude is not from Africa, bro. Hey, man has no Indian in him. This is a real African man. All right. I can even, some of these guys, I can look at them and tell exactly what part of Africa they come from. I can tell. These are African men. They need to get over their bullshit and come to us so we can help them. Anyway, it's now your time. Let me put up your links so you all can come in. We'll chop it up, man. Feel free to come in. Feel free to come in. Let's go. Link is in the chat. All right. But this is I'll let this play out while y'all come in.
About this tragedy that unfolded in the early morning hours there in Shreveport, Louisiana. We are following the latest, and we now have the identity of the individual responsible for this, as we're talking about 8 young children losing their lives between the age of 1 and 14. I want to put this up here from the New York Post, as they have identified Shreveport gunmen who murdered 8 kids as Army veteran Shamar Elkins, who shared a post of daughter just hours before the
Army veteran. Usually the military guys are more disciplined. Are these his own kids? So he killed his own children. Come on, FBAs, man. Come on, FBAs. No. Cut out the bullshit now. You've played too much. Get off the internet and get to work. Cut out the bullshit. This is too much. Look at the children, man. But why does he have that many children? Come on, dog. This is sad, bro. See, these men this week, this is the darkest week I've ever witnessed since I moved to the US. An almost governor kills himself, leaves 2 kids to figure it out. There was a rising star in the Democratic Party in Miami somewhere. I think she was Haitian woman. She got killed by her husband not too long ago as well. And then you got the Janae, whatever the girl's name is, the girl that got killed in Tanzania, in Zanzibar. Nobody knows who killed her. Some are alleging that is a white boyfriend or whatever. I don't know. It's still under investigation. This has been a very tough week to be a wife or to be a woman in America. And then now we are killing children. Guys, come on, man. We have to really understand that this is not well. This is not great, man. This is not it.
This incident early Sunday morning, and these are some of the images on the ground there. As you can see, a makeshift memorial, flowers in place outside of this home. We do know that some of these kids, they belonged to this individual, this Army veteran Shamar Elkins. We did hear an update from law enforcement, police there in Louisiana, providing an update. Any more information they can provide about a truly horrific scene in Louisiana.
Tell me what do you guys know? What's the latest updates?
So the latest update right now is we can confirm the suspect in these 8 homicides is Shamar Elkins. He is believed.
I want to say something to Black Americans, man. I don't want to blame you guys for this. I can take a quick victory lap, make it all about the diaspora wars. No, I don't. I don't want to even make this about this shit, bro. But you got to think back to who we were. If you believe that your ancestors came from Africa, you got to think back to who we were, okay? Mental illness has been throughout human life, human societies. But this would never happen in Africa because we don't even have the guns. We don't have guns over there. So these guns are all European inventions designed to commit even more evil. We're not these evil people. I mean, we have our barbarian side. We had certain tribes that maybe ate humans or ate the Westerns. but that was a small minority. That was not the general consensus. The Bantu people didn't do that. The Ghana, Mali, and Songhai people didn't do that. So you got to think back to historically who we were as Black people. You don't have to like us as Africans. You just have to look at this really analytically. Like, hey, the Black group, the Black humans that lived and survived in Africa, they were hunters and gatherers. They just picked food and ate, and they walked about with their dicks hanging. And if the booty looked good, they fucked it. That's all. That's just how these people live, bro. That's how they live. If you don't believe me, go look at the Amazonia, how the uncontacted tribes are living today. And to get a good wife, they fought, did a little battle, and they got a wife. But nowadays, we've adopted all these Western civilizations where now a woman won't even have a relationship with you unless you are tall as the roof. That was never African, man. Salute to Yogi. That was never African. Like, you didn't have to be as tall as the roof to get a mate. You just had to prove that you can go out there and fight and raise some money to protect your family, or like hunt to feed your family, like show that you were a man, and the woman would marry you and raise your children. Until these Westerners came into our societies and they infiltrated it with all this bullshit. This all the times that we laugh and we talk about maybe YNs and Black American this, Black American this, that's not them. Look at the Black folks of the 50s and the 60s. They were very different. They didn't have these white evil tools to kill their own. And nobody wants to make that argument that, hey, maybe, and I've been very harsh. Like, I've been the most harshest on the Black community on YouTube. I have been. But I don't hate them. I'm just disappointed. There's a big difference between hate and disappointed. I'm just disappointed because they don't see these parallels and these dissections that culturally we were not violent and evil people. We didn't have guns. We only had bows and arrows to protect our territory from invasion because they invaded us. Outside of that, we just didn't do much. And I want people to start thinking back to the basics that, hey, the Africans, even when they move to the US, they might talk some shit, but they don't hate you. They don't. Africans, they're not hateful people, man. The Black Africans were never hateful people. They were communal people. They ate together. That's why we all eat with our hands. Why do you think we eat with our hands? We eat with our hands around each other because we want to be around each other. And I think shame on us Africans that we haven't expressed this part of the culture to our cousins in the Americas. We haven't told them this. That's why they're not seeing this. This should not be happening in the Black, in the Black world. This should never be happening. So I want us to start. Like I said, I've been the most critical of the Black community, but that comes from somewhere, and I think I'm very right when I criticize. And sometimes I say some mean things because you got the Tariqs that we got to always correct. But at some point, man, if this is happening in our communities, which is, I'm talking about all Black lives, these children didn't deserve this. And the Caribbean folks, the Africans, the American Blacks, the European Blacks, stories like this. Because when I heard this, I thought it was going to be a white guy. This is white people shit. When I hear about shooting, that's white people shit. If it's not some YNs, it's always YNs that do bullshit. But if it's not YNs, it's usually white people shit. So when I heard this, and now that it's looking like it's one of our own, that's sad because Black folks were never like this. Don't let this environment and this society morph you into something that you never were just because you don't like some damn Africans. Come on now. Open your eyes, man. There's a lot of literature. There's a lot of things you can learn from. and change your mind about something. You don't have to hate the other people, but I'm just saying that this is just not right. You just can't do this. I'll let this play out. Sagat is on the line. We'll bring Sagat on. Let me play this out real quick.
To be the man responsible for this heinous act. I can tell you that 7 of the 8 children that were killed are believed to be his children. We are still working to determine a complete motive and understanding as to why this happened, but it is domestic in nature. The mother of the children was also shot and had very serious injuries, although we are hopeful she will recover. There's another female that was in this residence that has life-threatening injuries. We are hopeful that she will pull through, and right now we are still working to come up with an exact motive as to what led to this. But we do, we really want to thank the neighboring agencies for their assistance in this case.
And as far as the woman who was shot, both women who were shot, they were shot at a different location, correct? And they came here? Or?
One was shot at a different location. We believe the other was here as well. And then she actually fled from this location to an adjacent house and called 911 from there. That and a 13-year-old child who had also fled from this residence.
Okay, so the 13-year-old child who jumped off the roof, you were saying, what is his condition? Is it any injuries?
He had some injuries, some broken bones, but however, we do expect him to recover. We're just very thankful.
Yeah, I just want to say this is not very common with the black community. Okay, it never happens. Black folks don't do mass shootings. It's just there's not enough evidence, right? So this is not common with Black America at all. So I'm sure everybody's gonna see this. Like if you hear this thing on the news, it's gonna be a white folk. Mass shootings is usually white folks, right? So this is not very common, and I know definitely there's some mental illness going on. But why that many kids, and why kill your own children? It's not cultural. Okay, like I said, I'm probably the most critical person when it comes to the black community in America. I criticize them like crazy. Sometimes I even watch my replays. I'm like, damn, you said that? But when people deserve some credit, you got to give it to them. This is not very typical with Black America. It's not. They don't do this shit. They do the YN bullshit. The YN stuff, everybody agrees. Even they will agree. Like, yeah, YNs are crazy, man. Right? But this is not very common with Black America. So I think there's some mental issues going on. And, anyway, salute to you, laughing like Sagat.
Salute, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, bro. You're clear, loud and clear.
Yes, sir. I don't know where everybody else is at, man. I was lucky to actually catch you today, but it's Sunday. It's pretty chill.
Yeah,
I don't really have much to do. Really, I didn't have anything to do really. But oh my goodness, I just heard about this particular story in Louisiana, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but yeah, like you said, this is not typical of Black Americans, Historically, Black Americans have been more, I guess, say more strong-minded, more strong-willed than this. So when I heard this story, this was like very, very shocking to me, to be honest with you.
And then former military too, like military it gives you the grounding you need, right?
Right.
So Black American and military does not make sense, bro.
No, not at all.
It doesn't. Like I said, I can shit on that community all day, every day, but if it's not them, it's not them, bro. And we don't have to. We're not a propaganda channel. We don't have to there's certain L's we can laugh about and joke about, but sometimes if it's not them, bro, we just have to be honest and say, hey, this is just not them, bro. This is some white shit. This is stuff that white folks do.
Yeah, I'm scratching my head on this one. I be because I grew up in a military state. North Carolina's a military state, and all of the Black people who were in the military that I know, they all seem like a lot more, normal, especially the older ones. I can't remember the age of this particular gentleman, but this is some new age shit to me. If you ask me,
no, yeah, it freaked me out when I was like, I hope it's not, because again, YN crime, the crimes that the YNs commit, you can tell, right? It's usually factional. If you belong to one group, beefing another group, it always stems from like some beef. It's not random, right? YNs don't just like they won't just pull up in my neighborhood and just start shooting. They usually have a target, right? No, regardless of how stupid it is, they usually have a target. And even if you look at Black American street code, women and children are always exempt.
Facts.
Yeah. So the moment I heard children, I was like, no, it's not a Black person. It cannot be a Black person. And it was like, some days I'll take a victory lap, but this is one of those stories where I will not. I just won't do it, bro.
Yeah, I think it's really like just this is a general American thing. I really think there's something going on mentally with your typical Americans. I really think like there's I'm not making excuses for this man, at all. Don't get me wrong. However, at the same time, there is something going on mentally with the typical American, regardless of what their race is. To be honest with you, like this is, something that. Yeah. I'm reading Yogi's comment.
Yeah, I
I'm
see all
ex-military,
Yogi
we're
saying.
not crazy. And yeah, I agree. I have people in my family that are ex-military, and they're some of the most normal people. I mean, when you come across them, like you won't even think they were ever in the military, shooting at people. So,
No.
this guy might have had something up with him before he ever even got enlisted, in my opinion. Is
Yeah. Something is off, man. Which is why I'm like, like every time I say these things, mental health is one thing, but one thing that needs to be fixed is the family structure. You got to fix this. They have to figure out a way to fix it, bro.
right.
Like the old communal African family system. Remember, family is not just the woman you've married, husband and wife, but it's everybody else around you, right? Your wife's family, yours family, and then the connections, your sister's husband's family, like all of it builds up. And then from a relationship that is only 4 people, there's now 100 people. And everybody is a counselor and everybody can help you address certain issues. We need to start getting back to that. If we don't do that, man, it's like we're living through life and just tossing the die and hoping that society mends these things. It's not going to work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no natural order where like things just fall into place. You got to push things in place. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work out that way, man. It's like these women are all filing divorces for no reason because they're not happy. And then the court. I sound like a red pillar when I talk about these issues, but this is very true. These courts are not even listening to the side of these men and not giving the men a chance are sticking around to raise their families just because the marriage didn't work out. The reason I bring this up is I'm going to play this story right here because this story is so tragic. I don't even want to cover it, but let's go to this story right here for you to see. Hold on. I'll put this one up for us to cover. Oh, man. I got a story for you to cover here. Okay, let's go to StreamYard. Okay, so I got you right here.
Uncensored starts now. Welcome and thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored tonight. First, a major Factor follow-up. Houston-born singer David is now behind bars, charged with killing 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. David's real name is David Burke. The teen's body was found last September in an abandoned Tesla registered directly.
So this guy's story, right? The chick was 14 years old. What is he doing with a 14-year-old girl?
I heard about this story. And I heard some of his music. It's tragic, not just because of the girl, but the guy is extremely talented. And then he just throws his life away over this. Like, there had to have been some type of dysfunction, somewhere, maybe within his household, perhaps, maybe,
Yeah. So
not to make excuses, but I mean,
this is what I'm saying. Like, if you look at the black world, right, we can have like the African stories of political, like tribes fighting against each other, uh, the violence, the tribalism. It's usually all economic. It's always people haven't really explained this well to the rest of the world to understand it. The tribes don't hate each other. They only hate each other if they're fighting for something economically. It's maybe political power. One tribe is in control. One tribe has all the money. Then that fuels other tribes from trying to fight back, right? So it's always been political economic or political economy type of issues with the tribalisms that certain countries have had, like the Rwanda story, right? Uh, but what the Africans have always had is they've had their families intact all the time. So the families still control just our upbringing and how we do things.
right.
We will never dispute the fact that Black American trauma is some big shit. Well, nobody's gonna play with it, right? I mean, with the Tariqs, we just joke about it and we say some crazy shit. We do, right? I probably say the most craziest things on the internet, but when it comes to this thing, but
We all do to a degree.
right, but it's just a banter, but not in terms of hate. You just have to understand that this thing is so deep that it's gonna take more energy, more effort, and more funds and an understanding of women that hey, even if you have to give up a little bit to keep your husband at home and keep that black love going, just do it, man.
Yes,
Just do it because all it takes is one girl saying, shit, I'm just gonna work through this shit and I'm just gonna do it. They give up too easily. They give up these families too easily. And these men have to go around and just figure out why these relationships are not working. And the result is children like this that are just have no answers, bro.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I did a little bit of research. David came from a privileged household. I think both of his parents are still married to this day, and also they they work. I think one of them work in finance, and the other one is a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but he comes from a privileged household. He comes from a privileged background. Both of his parents are also educated, so I think this might be a case of him just being extremely spoiled, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah. And
You know.
that's another thing too. But here's the thing. The trauma is multi-generational sometimes. And even if your parents have kind of cut through it and they're middle class and they're doing well, sometimes they just don't know how to lead children and direct children. Another thing, when I've been studying Dennis Perlin lately. Dennis Perlin is a very successful man in terms of his accomplishments, but he's not reached his full potential because he's confused. So he's doing things that don't make money. He's doing things that are like very radical. And I understood, like, said, no, this guy is very confused. He doesn't know what he's doing. He needs some guidance, but he's too old to need that guidance. So Dennis, now that is a lawyer, will raise children that he'll pass that confusion down to them because he's trying to figure it out himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
And
It's kind of. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
go
but
ahead, go ahead. Yeah.
it's. I mean, it's a multitude of things. Humans are very, very complex. I really think, like, especially when you look at some of the upper class people, maybe part of it might be just street smarts. Perhaps it's like, you're so used to, like, getting things easily, to where it's like, um I guess, like, you I'm not saying people should struggle, but good things can come from struggling. It makes you work harder. It makes you try to figure things out more. But, when certain people come from like certain, gr- you know, backgrounds, like, stuff is handed to them, maybe, um, maybe like they're just, they kind of just break easy. They break easily, as opposed to somebody who has been through like a lot,
Yeah.
they're not that they don't really break, that easily. They're a little bit tougher. But then again, it's really more so like I think it's like more so individualistic in my opinion. But it's a whole case study. I think it should be a big case study either
Do you
way.
think do you think these guys sometimes just try to, if you're, especially if you grow up in the suburbs, right, where like it's all nice, middle class, you're growing up, you got everything you need, you have all the games, compared to somebody that grows up in the inner city, you're doing well financially, even if it's direct, but your parents can provide the necessary things. You can go to after school activities, you know, push and do things, and you have a different uh, type of upbringing compared to the child in the inner city. Do you think these children look at kids in the inner city and they just want to be like them? They want to be, because Dennis Perlin has music. He's trying to make music. He's trying to make rap music. It sucks.
Seriously? The
Yeah.
guy who was trying to run for governor in Virginia was trying to make rap music.
No, Sperlin, the guy, Yellow Man.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. That guy from Houston. Oh, I know who
Yeah,
you're talking
Yellow
about.
Man. Yellow Man had rap music.
I
He
saw.
struck he struck my channel for that same rap music.
Oh my God,
So
man! You know what? That's a big thing. I grew up in a black suburb, and that was a thing. Even though some of the black kids did come from the hood, and I myself, I technically used to live in the hood, even though I grew up in an African household, so I wasn't really that gutter. But yeah, that is a thing. That is a thing.
yeah,
Um,
because you want to be, because let's just be honest, man. The stuff, the black representation on TV is cool, right? Even how you
right.
walk, how you dress, how you talk. And some of these guys that are real foundational, in Tariq's word, they want to fit in. Like they want to have, they want to, they don't want to be suburban kids, because there's that perception that suburban kids are, they are,
Yes.
yeah, they're
And that
soft.
and that always killed me, Nana. Like that always killed me. Especially like I blame Gen X. I'm not gonna try to diss Gen X. I know not all Gen Xers think this way, but I'm gonna take it back to the 90s. Like they would say you're not real unless you struggled. You're not real unless you like been to prison. And they would like push that so hard. They would push it so hard to where it's like, that is like blackness, that is, criminality is blackness. And then they'll get upset when other groups look at them as criminals. But we have to like kind of hold ourselves accountable, to a degree, because this is what we pushed. This is what we pushed, to the world. And I mean, people are going to hold you to a certain standard. I mean, like that's
Yeah.
just a reality. So you really have to be mindful of how you carry yourself. Like that's why I myself, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but this is why I try to be as proper and as quote unquote uppity as possible, even if I get
Yeah.
into it, with the police
There's not
officer.
a perfect person, man. There's anybody that sits on YouTube and preaches this perfection. There's no perfect person. This is why I came on YouTube, because I was like, you can just have flaws, but you can also understand your flaws and work through them and improve them. Your goal is not to completely erase them. You just want to correct them to where it's not life impacting. Because we picked up flaws as we're growing up. We're gonna die with it, bro.
True.
But can you control it to where what is important you can do,
Hmm.
and that it doesn't impact your ability to progress and build? and understand what it means to build. That's just why I came on YouTube, is to tell people, hey, the old ways is not the bad way. Let's get back to the old ways when it comes to marriage and relationships. The old way is not bad. You can make some new adjustments, like I was talking about buying a robot to help you with the chores so that your wife doesn't feel exhausted, right? Because that's the technology and the times we're in. So you want to evolve with the times. So that's why I come out and I present a different path to what life is, and to make people understand that I'm not a perfect person, bro. I have my own flaws, but I'm aware of my flaws, and I want to always kind of fine tune a little bit. You want to fine tune. It's like music. You always want to fine tune. You can't get it all perfect. If anybody sits on YouTube and presents this, I'm a perfect human being, I would unsubscribe overnight, because like things like the Anton Daniels stuff that went around. He presented himself as a very perfect person.
Right.
And then when people found out certain things about him, he was fighting it and trying to kind of like, oh no. I was like, no. If you told people what the layout is, then they will understand that you're human. And when they understand you're human, they will not go around the world looking for some dirt on you, because every human being has fucked up in his lifetime, bro. If you haven't fucked up, you're not human, bro. I've fucked up a lot. If you fuck ups are good for you. They are good. They're supposed to teach you the next thing, man.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Anton, that's why, I used to listen to him, but he's just a little bit too arrogant. Don't get me wrong. I am kind of happy he's able to, go and get money for himself. But at the same time, he's just, he got some stuff with him that's a little bit somewhat unbearable, and I kind of had to fall back from him. But, I mean, but back to the I would say popular Black American culture, because Black American culture is very broad. And when I talk about Black American culture, I can include the Africans and the Caribbeans here. And it's like, it's just this necessity. Like they're just, people, us Black people, we just, just too hell bent on just trying to be cool, trying to be edgy. And I think some positive changes are happening. I'm starting to notice, a shift from the super far leftist stuff to the moderate. I'm not saying everybody has to be conservative, but I think
somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah, I think it's very important to be balanced, not just politically, but just life in general. Like too much of something can be bad depending on how it's applied. And during 2020, with the CV thing going on and then the BLM stuff going on, not to say it was all bad, but I really think it made people extremely polarized. And now notice people, a little bit more people are starting to kind of come to the middle, at least, amongst Gen Z and maybe like some Gen Alpha too. Millennials and Gen Xers are kind of up in the air. The boomers they seem to be stuck in their ways. But I really feel like people just for the most part just need to like come together and just try to like fix, the issues, like the foundational issues, which is family structure, the economy, education, especially. I read somewhere that a lot of Black boys are not able to read at a certain level.
Yeah.
And
What do you think they should run like a parallel curriculum from just the national curriculum? Like the national curriculum in America now is the No Child Left Behind curriculum introduced under the Bush administration, which is called the Common Core, right? I don't know if you ever heard about it, but there's a curriculum called the Common Core, which was introduced by George Bush. That's what's been running around the US right now. And test scores overall, compared to their counterparts in Singapore and in Europe, are down. I think they're down like maybe 25 in the world right now. South Africa does better than them in terms of K through 12 education. That's funny, right? So you think they should run a Black parallel curriculum in predominantly black cities to change, to just have a different style of education. Maybe pick a Caribbean country or an African country, because you know this and I know this, bro. When we come here, when we take the SAT, we do very well
True.
without even going to school in America. When we just take the SAT or the GRE, we do very well based on the stuff that we learn at home, right?
Yeah, I definitely think, with black people here, yeah, it's definitely some things that could be applied. Different things, I mean, different people learn, they learn differently. And I guess like certain things that might work for white children or non-black children, may just not work for black children. So I'm down for
True.
anything.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. I
down for
mean, like,
anything.
I've been big on the white. I don't know. I'm an educator, so I've followed this thing over the years. And Singapore and WIC, which is the West African Education Council, I think that's one of the best curriculum in the world for kindergarten through grade 12, bro.
I hear
I've
you.
never seen anything as great as that curriculum. Those two, the Singapore one and the Ghanaian one, or it's not Ghanaian, it's West African now. So all the West African countries, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Ghana, and Nigeria. And you look at that curriculum, I think, because I know that from my Liberian friends in the US, I can look at, man, some of my friends went to Howard, MIT, from Liberian education, from doing high school in Liberia. Some of them did it even during the war. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys had a civil war and they were still able to come to the US and do
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah. My father is a PhD. And even my mother got well, not a PhD, but she got a bachelor's from a HBCU. Even though they didn't really go through the war like that, but I have Liberian friends who who were able to get educated.
Just even with all the
Despite
stuff that happened. Yeah, despite the
right.
stuff that happened. 'Cause that's just is a strong core curriculum that I thought, this is why I said Pan-Africanism got shortchanged by all these scammers that went to Africa trying to scam Black Americans. They are the ones that are doing the scam, right?
Yeah,
They are
Umar
saying
Johnson, for example.
Umar Johnson and all these guys, they're the ones doing the scam
Right.
because they got a head start to go over there and they just lying to these people. But I was like, you don't need to move over there. You just need to take the elements that you found there and form a nonprofit in the US to push that agenda so that the kids will have the same aptitude as their friends on the African continent when it comes to science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yes.
Because these guys are really good. The Africans have proven that they're really good. Like when I was teaching at Illinois State University, and I think you listen to me a lot, so you know this story. The kids that I taught as undergrads still their math aptitude was lower than my high school students in Ghana, because the guys in Ghana learned a little bit more advanced math than the high school curriculum here. So there's a lot to be learned, like on both sides, if we come up with a system that is really fundamentally real pro African people and not this stuff these Tariqs are doing. They are doing the division at the time when Africa is really doing well. Africa is doing well today, bro.
It is. Africa is improving, definitely. I mean, even in Liberia, they're people are making strides, and and when it comes to Pan Africanism, I'm a little biased. I grew up Pan African, pretty much. Through my father. My father had me listening to Farrakhan, as a child. Well, but the thing is this, and this goes for like just people in general. You have to build yourself up before you work with others. And I think the problem with a lot of westernized blacks is that they look so outward, like they try to like get help, from outside instead of trying to like build themselves up to be strong to where it's like they don't need help, from like others. because at the end of the day, you have to help yourself before you help other people or before you go out. And that's the problem that like a lot of us have. And I think Africans seem to like we seem to not to be biased, but we seem to like realize that more, and that's why you're starting to see a lot more the development in Africa, especially in places like Namibia, where like they have a lot of they have like diamonds, the diamond resources. I Show Speed showed this, and that particular country, like they seem to have like most control over their diamond resources.
Ghana
So
does. I
that's a
showed
good
you.
story.
Were you on the live yesterday? I showed you
No, I was on the live.
A Ghanaian company took over our gold mines.
Mm.
Ibrahim Mahama. Yep.
That's a very strong. Yeah, that's a very strong example right there. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, life. I mean, in life, you have to realize that everybody is out for themselves. Like every group is out for themselves. So Africans, Black Americans, Caribbeans, we need to be on the same, page. We have to be on the same page, because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, nobody is gonna help you. I mean, like nobody's gonna help you. You have to help yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Let
but
me salute to Glitters. Glitters is in the chat. Yogi is a boomer, so he's 60 plus. I've always said my favorite Black Americans are the guys that are in their 60s, bro, because they knew they were. You remember, if you're 60 years old right now, you only had one parent that went through the civil rights movement. You understand that? If you are 60 today, your parents marched. Not your grandfather. Your parents did. Because your parents will be 120. That's way past the civil rights movement. So your parents were 20-year-olds doing the civil rights movement. So those parents usually instill a separate education into them. This is why Black folks that are 58 to about 70 years old, when you even have a conversation with them, they sound like they just came from Africa yesterday. Test it out. Just go look for any old uncle. We used to call them unks, right? Just find any old uncle in Brooklyn and just have a conversation with them. They sound like they just came back.
Yeah, I had a conversation with one of my neighbors. He served in the military, and I think he's like well above 60. I think he's closer to 70 actually. And when I was speaking to him, it's like I was speaking to one of my old Liberian uncles.
Yeah, exactly.
So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, man. I
true.
know that, because I'm like, like I said, I always say my mom is 73. She was a school girl doing independence. Right after independence, she was a school girl. So she saw Ghana's transition from independence to self-governance, to the first Queen visit. So if you are 60 years old, you were right in the heart of it. Like your parents were right in the heart of it. So whatever your parents are telling you today, that's what their parents told them. That's why you never find 60-some-year-olds following Tariq Nasheed. They will never do it.
No, it's mostly like Gen Xers. Like,
yeah.
I mean, and the Tyreek, man, it's like only stupid people follow him. I swear to God. Like,
Yeah.
I have yet to follow a highly intelligent person that follows Tyreek. And I did research on Tyreek too. He wrote a book, Macking Lessons, and in that book, he was talking about pimping underage girls, and that alone should actually, like pretty much just like discredit him completely. But yet a lot of these people, a lot of these so-called FBAs, they have so much hatred for foreign blacks, they will still follow him, despite that. And I mean, like it's gonna get to a point where like he's gonna get in trouble for some type of insurgents, I believe.
You're right. Yeah, he's got to be careful. Let me play this out.
To the singer. Burke is currently being held without bail. Investigators are set to hand the case over to the DA on Monday. Now to the devastating end to a high-profile political family. Police say former Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax shot and killed his wife multiple times early this morning before turning the gun on himself. While the public may have seen a powerful and successful couple, investigators say behind closed doors, a divorce was quietly unfolding. Joining us to talk about this, therapist Dr. Bernadette Smith, divorce attorney Ronique Baston Robinson, and Texas State Representative Ron Reynolds. So, Doc, first of all, a tragedy.
Yeah. Just my FBAs, man. My FBAs. If you give me this therapist wife as a second wife, we got no issues, bro. You got some booty. You know, I'm a booty spotter, so I can spot some booty right there in the chair, even though she's sitting down. I'm like, oh, mama got some booty on her. Mama got some booty on her.
Yeah, on the far left, man. I might simp for her.
That's the one right there. That's the therapist right there, man. She can be my therapist.
Sexual therapy.
You can be my therapist right there, man. That's what the conversation should be, Tariq. That's what the conversation should be. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when not only do you take the life of your loved one, then you take your own life. Your thoughts about this?
I think one of the things we have to remember is that it seems sudden, but as we see, it's been unraveling for a very long time. There were cameras in the house, which also probably...
Oh, she got a soft voice too, man. She can sit on my face.
You gotta behave now to behave,
bro. How about them FBAs, man? Salute to Rainbow the God. Rainbow is crazy, man. Salute to Rainbow the God.
Salute.
No, she's fine, man. Some of these FBAs, man. Some of these FBAs, man.
The case that it was a volatile situation. And then to add to another layer, we have the son who had to witness his mother, right? So we have children who are grieving, who were potentially in a household where it was a very volatile situation, coupled with having to deal with complex loss, betrayal of the father, and now the baby isn't really having the opportunity to grieve because he's also going to have to be in a witness space as well.
And of course, you're talking about a lifetime of therapy to deal with this, even if you can get a handle on it.
Layers and layers and layers. And that's one of the things about when we're dealing with trauma like this. At different stages of our life, the trauma can resurface in a way that we may not have imagined. And the children getting...
So I just want to be on record for saying that I don't support what this guy did. I think I think if the marriage is not working out, you should be a man, boss up, and get out of the house. Even if your state law allows you to stay in the house while the case is going on. If the woman wants out, I think for men, okay, and I'm saying this so that other men can understand how this works. Go live with your homeboy, bro. Go live with your bro. Go rent a small mini apartment or studio apartment and separate yourself. And allow the process to play out. You're probably not gonna get the fair end of the deal. That's just how the court systems work in America. But if you separate yourself and you present yourself right, every woman, even if you did something and they won out of the marriage, I think every woman wants the father in the child's life. They will be a little bit more lenient when it comes to the legal process. But these are selfish men. I think he didn't want to wait it out. The mindset of, if I can't have you, nobody else can. It's very toxic. He shouldn't have never been married in the first place. You know what I'm saying? The allegations that brought him down started from when he was a college student, not when he was married. So it's not like he was cheating on his wife. It's what he did with the fallout. What he did with the fallout is when he didn't get a governor position and his campaign failed, he lost the means to make money. In 2025, he reported $0 in earnings. This guy's a lawyer that went to an Ivy League. In 2024, he made $30-something thousand. So the 2 years after the allegations, his earnings started going down.
That's insane for a lawyer from an Ivy
And the
League.
wife is the dentist. So he could have, just based on the wife's income, he could have recovered really quickly if he just let go of the fact that his political ambitions didn't work out. This is the problem of being one-dimensional. This is what I'm saying. No man should be one-dimensional. Like me, right? I have a job, but right now, my side hustles make more money than my employment. So if I show up to work tomorrow and they say, Nana, you're done, I don't give a fuck. I've built a side hustle that makes me more money than what I make at work. I just go to work right now because I just love to do it. But it took me 8 years to do that. He should have done that. And that's why I keep saying most men should do that. Don't be a one-dimensional earner. One-dimensional earning, he put everything into politics. He put everything into this lifestyle, and this failed. The moment it fails, if you're one-dimensional, you start to hit rock bottom very fast. And he didn't have the guidance, the friendships, the learning to recover when this happened. I've been through 2 layoffs. So I've hit tragedy before, and I recovered very quickly. Now I can withstand any layoff, like really withstand any layoff, because I learned from those 2 experiences. He had a wife that makes a lot of money. So men like this, their recovery is usually faster because a woman can hold the line while you try to recuperate. But because he put so much energy into being a governor and a politician, and he was a quote-unquote rising star, he lost his footing. And then he spiraled. He started drinking too much. He was staying away from kid activities. The wife was filing for divorce. Divorce and income. If you lose those 2 things, you lose your wife and you lose your earnings, for a man, you're done. But this is what I'm saying publicly to urge men. When you start to spiral, you just need to leave the house and get around other men that can help you recover. Your frat brothers, your former college mates. Because you're a lawyer, you don't have to go into private practice. I don't know why he went straight into private practice. He could have just applied for a job. But they screwed his image so much that I don't think he could even get a job, because they say they have all these sexual allegations against you. Nobody wants to hire you, bro. What you say about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, he put all his eggs in one basket, and I don't think anybody should do that, male or female, regardless of what creed you come from. I mean, like, even like I know guys who have advanced degrees, but even these guys, they have side hustles. Some of them, like I know some people who are lawyers, and they have side hustles that you would not even believe. Like some of them actually, do landscaping, when things slow down. So like, yeah, you have to be like a jack of all trades, especially in this certain type of, economical climate. So, I mean, yeah, man, this is insane. My heart
There's a
goes with
lot
the
of
families.
there's a lot of these stories this week that I think men have to do better. And what is sad about this is that it's a lot of black men. These are crimes that I thought only white people did.
Yeah, it seems like the black man has gotten like even more mentally weak. And
Yeah,
the black man used to be mentally strong. But
that's what's very shocking. What you see on the screen these are things that have been happening. These two here where my mouse is. This woman here in yellow was a rising star in the Democratic Party for Coral Springs, Florida. She was supposed to be running for Congress, and the husband killed her. He didn't kill himself, at least he wasn't coward enough to kill himself, but he just killed her for no damn reason. I don't know what the reason is, but he just says, I can't take it anymore, and killed her. Every pair you see is the last few weeks of people that have killed their spouses. And there's a girl in Tanzania that just got killed. Oh, we don't know who killed her. But it's still alleged. But she was dating this white guy. And people are saying they're making it sound like only white, or like because she married a white, or she was dating a white guy, that's why it happened. They're like, no, these violences are happening even within black families or black relationships. And like you said, I agree with you there. We are undergoing a proliferation of very weak men. So you think the manosphere has something to do with this? These guys that went on a 10-year spree to hate women, you think they have contributed to this? Because I guarantee you, man, if you go look at some of these guys' social profiles, they consume Andrew Tate and all these other platforms, Fresh and Fit. And I like Myron to an extent, not always, but certain points,
Yeah, I used to listen to a little bit of Fresh and Fit. I was never really a big Red Pill guy, but yeah, man, I think the manosphere has definitely contributed to this. I think it made it worse. To
Fitness.
be honest with you.
See, fitness, I agree with them. They got me on fitness. They got me on
Right.
eating right, fitness, and getting your money up. They got me on those three things, right? The other stuff, speaking negatively of women, that's just a weak move, bro.
Right. Like, I mean, for example, like them, like, oh, the girl has to be a virgin. I'm like, most people past 18 and even under 18 are probably not even virgins. Like, oh, this person has to be a virgin, or
No, it's not very
that
necessary.
that's not that's not
Yeah,
realistic.
you're not gonna find that, bro. If that is your that's what traditional marriages require, but you also have to adapt with the reality. Not being a virgin, yeah, I mean, 'cause most people will lose their virginity when they are not fully mature in their heads,
Right.
right? So it's a life mistake. It's not a big deal. It's only a big deal if the women are promiscuous. If they're like, like just on a tier, 100 men, 100 men tier and still going, multiple boyfriends, multiple dates a week, that's a problem. That's not a wife. But women get disappointed too. You have to understand that sometimes they meet a guy and they think that guy is the real deal, and the guy disappoints them. And that's a head count. That's one more body you've just added to your count. It doesn't mean that you're whoring it up. It's just that the guy disappointed you. And 99% of the time, it's just guys disappointing these women.
Yeah.
What are they supposed to do? If they like you, they're not supposed to like you, just hold it back. They have already admitted that they like you. It's up to you to also like them and make it seal the deal. But the guys hit it and they just can't, I just screwed this one and I moved on to the next. Then you've left her with a body count, and then you circle back 10 years later and say, oh, she has 100 bodies. Yeah, but all the 100 bodies were supposed to be relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Or it's just her having fun. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I prefer, women that have a little bit of experience anyway. Honestly. And
Yeah.
plus, like, a lot of guys like, women that have a little bit of like sluttiness to them. I'm not saying, my future wife has to be a whore, but I mean, it's just, I just feel like a lot of Western men are just not realistic when it comes to women. Like, just get yourself a woman, that makes you feel good and she's loyal to
Yeah.
you, and just keep it moving.
And
You know,
and
you
women
have to get so hung up on your past.
and women can switch it up too. Like they know when it's time to go serious. They are humans. They're just like us. They just know. I mean, we are horse too. Let's just be honest, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we are horse too. I mean, we go around, we bang it up, we enjoy life. Then it's a new life now. They also enjoy life. But women know if you're the right guy, and they know when to shut it down, and they know when to say, "Hey, this is my guy. I may have had fun in the old days, but this is the guy that I want to build it up with." And there's nothing wrong with that, bro.
Not wrong with it at all.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong
no,
with it
but
at
this
all.
red pill stuff of going out seeking virgins, if you that's what you're gonna do, you end up in prison because some of those virgins are borderline, bro.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you heard of this white boy named Clavicular. I
No.
think it's from Florida or something like that. He's a big time streamer. He just got arrested recently. I can't remember what he did, but he's on this like look maxing stuff, and like he would like take like a hammer and he would like bang his face up to like try to like chisel his face. He's very young. He's like 20, 21, 22 or something like that. And he's constantly getting in trouble. He's one of those red pill guys. And you know, like this is the type of like psychology, like you know, you gotta like, you know what I'm saying, pay attention to the psychology that these red pill guys have. It's like they live in like a fantasy world and they try to, you know, project that into real life, and it just doesn't work. It's like, you know, most of us are normies. Most of us are normal
Right.
people,
Normal.
and you just have to accept that normalcy. You know, but a lot of these guys, they think that, oh, at 21, 22, I got to be making millions of dollars. I have to be getting all these, you know, bitches and all this stuff. Oh, I got to have like a penthouse and a mansion in Miami. I'm like, most guys are not going to get that. And the biggest thing, the kicker is that you don't have to have all these things. I've seen
No, you
bum
don't.
ass dudes have multiple baby mamas and they have nothing. I'm not saying be a bum, but you know, like just get yourself that nice normal girl. She don't even have to be a 10. She could be like a 7 or even a 6. As long as you love her, as long as she loves you, you good. You know, just
Rainbow is saying you're tripping. Rainbow.
okay. Well, let's. He got a
Greatest is
penthouse in Miami,
saying,
huh?
Rainbow said he needs a virgin. No, you can't find a virgin, man, unless you go to some Arab country somewhere. And Glitters is saying that this is funny. He says, "Love is dead in USA. Rest in peace, marriage and love." Yeah. She's not lying, man. It's hard to be married here. I'll be honest about it, man. You know, for me, I don't hide these things. I keep it a buck. My friends is, you know, I have a lot of friends in Africa. The marriage my friends have in Africa is not any close to the marriage I have here. My friends don't do laundry, you know. My friends don't help out the way you know how I openly say help out, do this, he do this. They usually do it through like maids, or they hire people to do certain things, or the wives will do it. But in this case, in the West, I can't afford a maid. I mean, I can, but I don't want to do that, right? Why should I bring a maid in my house and pay $50,000 a year? I don't want to do that. You know, some people do it. I don't want to do it. Why should I pay $50,000 a year just because I don't want to clean up when my wife is out of the house? I will clean up. I'd rather do it. I'm cheap, so I'd rather do it and put the money in my pocket. Right? That's how I look at it. But I look at my friends' marriages at home, and I envy it. I'll be honest about it, bro. I look at my friends like, shit. I think this is cool, right? But you can't have it here. So yeah, I agree with Glitters there. I think, you know, I've been on record for saying marriage is the next step for men, but the way the West is structured, you'd be better off just if you can marry without signing court papers and do it like maybe the more traditional way. Maybe I'll be on the side of that. But anything outside of that, I don't know, bro. I I'm taking a lot of my words back because I'm like I'm a proponent of marriage, but the West is a limiting factor when it comes to getting married. I just don't think this is the place for this to happen. And
Nah.
the thing that I've spoke to a lot of women about this, and the thing they really struggle with is the word submission. They don't like it. I think they don't
Yeah.
understand it, but I think they also don't like it. They don't understand it, and they don't like it. Submission is not slavery or do whatever your husband wants you to do. That's not what it is. It's just at the core of it, when you guys are debating an issue, the wife's role is to convince the husband to take her side. But whatever side the husband takes for the family is final. The husband has to lead and direct where the family goes. Where you gonna move to? Where you gonna live? What house you gonna buy? The ultimate decision has to come from the man. Because if the man is not the leader of the family, then you have chaos. It's not a partnership. The partnership is what the West has created today. This is why the relationships are not working. There always has to be a clear leader. It's like even the US government, there's a clear leader, Donald Trump. Right? Even if we
Yeah.
don't like him, he's a clear leader. Marriages only work if there's an established clear leader.
True.
And the modern way of life just doesn't, in the West, it's hard to explain to women that for this to really work, you have to trust your husband. If you don't trust your husband to make good decisions, that's not the man for you. Don't marry him.
Exactly.
Don't marry him. That means you should not marry him. When you say the ring, you don't marry him because he's 6 foot and he makes a certain amount of money. You marry him because he can make decisions that can lead your next generation and can direct you onto success in a greater path. And that's where it's missing. Not only the Black community, I think it's missing across the board in the West.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I would say like modern, society
Yeah,
is
it's
like,
modern society. You have to trust me that I'm gonna make the right decision for the family. And
mhm.
those decisions require the input of the wife. You're not silencing your wife at all. But whenever after all the deliberations are held, the husband has to make the ultimate decision. That's why you can't find a wife going into downtown Dallas just to buy a car because they want to buy a car. No, that it doesn't work like that, bro.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you are 100% on point, Nana. Yeah, really just America. I mean, I guess Americans are just spoiled in general. Like they just think like that, everything is gonna be like shiny and glossy. But in reality, life is brutal, life is gritty, and people are just gonna have to accept that and just get what they can get and just keep it pushing. Honestly.
Hey, Yogi is 6'7", man. You can show off that 7 and send it over this side, man. That's a lot of height.
What position does he play in basketball? That's like a small forward or something.
He's a former military. 6'7" is 6'7" is almost 7 foot tall. That's tall.
Man, I'd be in the NBA blocking shots right now.
I bet those knees are hurting right now at 6'7". Your knees are not gonna hold up. Yeah, I can use maybe 6. I think 6 is good, but most Africans will probably tap out at 5'7", 5'8".
Unless they Sudanese or something like that.
Sudanese or Senegalese, like northern parts of West Africa, yeah, they tend to be taller. But right about the coastal Africa, I think right about mostly 5'8", you're already top of the height class.
Yeah, but they stocky though.
Yeah. But yeah, over there in West Africa, you won't have issues with height in terms of your dating your mating preferences. It's more about your inside. A lot of the emphasis is on who you are internally, and just learning that leadership skills, which is passed down. Really, like your parents will have to teach you that. And you got to pass it down to your children and pass it down. And this is what I'm saying, like, when this whole Tariq bullshit is over, we have to now start, either we do it on social media or we do it in real life, is to start getting some of these young boys to see it a different way, because the way they are going, we got no chance, bro.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, we got no chance, man. I mean, we do this for fun, man. I don't hate these people, bro. I'm just being honest about it. I do it for fun because it's funny, because, you know, like they'll say some things about us. I look at it as a banter. I say something, they say some things, I come here and I say some things. But at the core of it, I wish them well. I don't wish hate on them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, a
it
lot
is-
of these FBA types, they're just having like fruitless conversations. Like, for example, who invented hip hop? And don't get me wrong, I grew up on hip hop. I'm always gonna have love for hip hop. But at the end of the day, it's like, who gives a damn? Like, we need to be having discussions about, STEM,
yeah,
politics, and
some
Black
more
Market.
serious shit, right?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh well, Black Americans invented hip hop, and hip hop is a Black American, art form. Don't get me wrong, but at the
Right.
same time, Black Americans have invented so much other things. If I'm a Black American, I don't give a damn about hip hop, really.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Not with
I'll just
what the
create something
Wyans.
else.
Yeah, not with what the Wyans have done with it. I would rather go into something else, because there's a lot more other things that has more respect than just nobody disputes their talent when it comes to certain genres, right? Hip hop, sports. It's you can never dispute that. It's right there, bro. I'll never take away credit that is deserved. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. Nobody's arguing that at all. But you also have to understand that we have bigger problems, and I'm talking about the whole global community of Black people. We got bigger problems, man. I don't want to go on the news and see these fuckers going over the place, shooting up places just because somebody did a diss song about them, and then they tarnish all our image. And now, if I'm walking the sidewalk, Becky doesn't want to be on the side of my sidewalk. you know, Yeah, so everybody gets impacted. Those are the things that needs to be addressed. Let me play out this thing and then we'll close out, because I gotta sleep.
My last video about Ashley Janae and talk about some of the responses, and also discuss the recent femicide stories that nobody is talking about because the unalivings were committed by Black men. And under my last community post about one of the most recent victims of femicide, somebody accused me of deflecting or redirecting the conversation from white men to Black men to absolve white men of accountability. And I feel like the people who accuse me of that actually don't like Black men being held accountable for femicide, because if y'all claim to care about femicide and Black women's safety and Black women being unalived by their partners, then it shouldn't be an issue with anybody shining light on other recent femicide stories that aren't being shared, because the women involved weren't influencers or public figures who were dealing with white men. All Black femicide victims deserve to have their story told, because they are all important. And if those of you reporting on Ashley and making that story go viral, if you truly believe that all men can be dangerous and that protecting Black women matters, then that standard has to be applied consistently, not just to men who don't look like you or men that you sleep with every night. I have more respect for anybody saying this is what men do, so vet them all regardless of race and find one worth being with, or be single if you don't want to risk it. That's genuine.
This is a part that I agree with that. Like, if you vet very well, you got to vet very well, Not every man is a husband, not every man can control their emotions. Like, this didn't just start happening. And I don't think it's a racial problem. I don't think it's a Black woman being killed. White women get killed even more than Black women get killed, right? But nowadays, as a woman, being married can be very dangerous.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, just picking a husband and being married can be very dangerous. Let's just be honest about it, bro. Like, so if we don't treat this as a bigger issue, there'll be no reason for women to get married. Because you could get killed if the man doesn't have the right balance of enzymes in his head. Like, I look at all these guys, I don't know them personally, but I'm looking at these pictures. I'm like, yeah, they can do it. They look like, except for maybe this guy right here. This is the only one that looks like maybe he couldn't have done it. But the rest of the dudes, man, they look like They look the part, and maybe Unc right here, Unc right here maybe looks like maybe
He looks crazy, honestly. Now, he looks crazy, and that's the thing that kills me about certain people. Like, it's like, you gotta have some type of street smarts. You have to be able to, be able to like read people. I mean, that's a life necessity. Some of these people, I'll just be, I mean, I could just look at them and be like, oh, hell no, and also trust your gut instinct. But, but then you got these women that think, oh, well, I can change him and all this stuff. I'm like, I'll tell you like this. If a man cannot change for himself, he's not going to change for you, period.
True.
Straight
And
up.
ladies, if you're gonna do a divorce, I don't care who gets the house. Just leave the house.
Yeah.
Leave it until the court decides who gets the house. A lot of women want to stay at home and decide who leaves their house while the court case is going on. Most of the times, you are going to get the house anyway. If you don't get the house, the court will order you to sell that house within 6 months. So go and get you an apartment and get out of the house and get a restraining order. I don't care how much you trust a man. If you've decided to divorce a man, get a restraining order, because the men today are not the men of my dad's generation. They may not be able to hold it together emotionally. So if you make that step and you make that decision that you want to leave this man and you don't want to be with the man, I think it's very important that you just leave the house, bro. Leave, do the legal process. When the legal process is over, most likely you're going to have to sell that house, split the net gain of the equity, and then go about your business and figure out how you're going to co-parent. These words, I don't believe in, but you got to do it. You just got to co-parent and figure it out. But violence is, they say violence is a man's last resort. But we don't have to, like, we've come so far as men. We don't have to hurt women, man. If you have to do that, you're a weak man, bro.
I mean, you shouldn't even be in a relationship with a woman that you have to put hands on, And that's another thing. A lot of these guys, they just want to be with crazy women. And I mean, you're putting yourself in a bad predicament.
Yeah, just leave, man. If you can't do the marriage, just leave. Just get out there, man. I don't even know why these men are doing this. Like, okay, I understand the women are pretty. You put a lot into them, whatever it is. But hey, most women, the average age for divorce is 44 years old. All right. If you leave me when you're 44 years old, I'm not stressing it, bro. I'll take me a 28 with some pointy Mandinga boobs. Mandinga.
Some of them Mandinga chicks are sexy though. I can't even hold you.
They got them pointy boobs, man. I like the ones that just go up like this. I'll go take me a Mandinga chick with pointy boobs, and I'll be okay with it because she'll be 10 years younger, 15 years younger, and I'll ride that out through retirement until she leaves me. But you got so many options, man. There's a 2-to-1 ratio. There's somebody out there for you. You don't have to kill yourself like this. Let somebody else have her at 44. It's okay. You've had a good run. That's how men should look at this. Like, hey, she was with you for 10 years. You've had a good run. You've had it from 20 to 30, from 25 to 35. All right, go get you some fresh mangoes. It's all good.
Yeah, especially now, it's so much pussy out here. For you to like be stuck on one woman is absolutely asinine. Like I don't understand the mentality of some of these men, these so-called men.
I sound like a passport bro here, but shit, I'm telling you, man. Woman leaves me in my 60s. I'm gonna write it out, man. It's gonna be 25, 30-year-old chicks, Mandinga chicks, Gambian chicks. I like the skin very black, very, very black, not West African.
Yes.
with some pointy boobs. Oh, with the haircut. I don't like this makeup and the peanut butter on the face. I don't like that shit, man.
Yeah, the
Give
natural, hair.
give me a haircut, bro, and some big round earrings. Ooh boy. See, let me see if I can find that description. Black. Let me see what Google will give me. Black African woman with large round earrings and haircut. Let's see if it'll give me something. Let me see. Let's see what styles we get. I mean, I can deal with this, but that's too robotic. Oh, I see. Oh, this like this. Not too. You see this one right here? Like this.
Mm.
This is my style, but a little bit dark shade. You give me this, I'm good, bro.
I prefer her to have like a little fro, but I mean, I'd still hit. I ain't gonna hold you. I still hit.
Yeah.
That one right there. Okay, now that I can definitely do that. I can
Yeah,
definitely do that.
I roll like this, man. Just like this. No complications, fellas. No complications. That Google said is 2%. This is a man on business, man. This is what, ladies, this is what the men like. Okay. You don't need to go make these $200 braids in North Carolina, man. Them braids are too expensive. Give me something like this, man. You know, maybe that's why I keep saying, I think the second wife will come from Lesotho. You know Lesotho, right?
Yes.
Oh, Lesotho is good, man. Let me see if Google has some Lesotho women. Lesotho women. Oh,
a lot of those Bantu Southern African girls be good though.
Look at that Lesotho, man. Look at that Lesotho, man. Look at that Lesotho. When they wear those traditional clothes. Oh my goodness. Man. Give me that Lesotho, man. This
I see why the Nigerian men are going down there and knocking on them girls up. I can't even blame them.
No. Lesotho, man. When they wear this, oh my goodness. Lesotho, man. Give me that Lesotho. Sub-Saharan is in the house, man. Second wife Lesotho, man. Second wife Lesotho. I think I'm scheduled to be in Africa in a couple of weeks. I think in about 2 to 3 weeks I should be over there. I might just add Lesotho to the trip. Give me Lesotho.
I might have to come with you, Nana. Sheesh.
Give me Lesotho, man. No, I know Africa, man. I'm telling you. Look at this. Traditional Lesotho village, Lesotho marriage, Swazi and Lesotho. This is where you need to be at, man. Swazi and Lesotho. This is what I like, folks. This is what I like. So Lesotho, man. I just gave you guys one of my secrets. Oh, look at that. Look at how about Lesotho, bro. We grew up wanting a black woman we saw in National Geographic. Exactly, man. These things they put on their face with the peanut butter stuff. I call it peanut butter. But that peanut butter stuff, no, that's too much, bro. That's too much. That is too much. I'm going to Lesotho, man. I'll be over there. And they're very traditional. In Lesotho, you can have 3 wives, 4 wives,
Oh my goodness.
Or traditionally you can do that. You can just meet the chiefs, pay the lobola, pay the bride price. Look how beautiful they are, man. Lesotho is, and they got some money, Lesotho girls have some money.
Man, they're so thick. I don't know if I can even handle one. Sheesh.
Yeah,
Really?
they got some money,
damn.
man. Lesotho, man. Lesotho got that culture. Any size you want, man, you get them in Lesotho. Look at that. So yeah, you guys can chill in America, man. Chill over here with Keisha. Chill over with Keisha. But we are going to Lesotho. They got 1.1 million women living in Lesotho, and they make up 51% of the population. So there's more women than men. So we are going to Imbabane in Lesotho. That is my favorite African country. Okay.
You ain't got no choice but to get some pussy there. Shit.
Hey, Rainbow, you gotta respect my Glitters, man. Glitters is our female coordinator of the Nana Kweku show. If you take my Glitters away, the females will leave the channel. We want our females on the channel, okay? All right, brother. Let me give you the last word, man. What you got for me? Close me out.
I appreciate your show. And I feel like just, all Black people just need to work together, all across the globe. All this FBA versus Tether stuff is absolute nonsense. They just, they just want to, distract you from the real issues. And that's all I got to say.
Hey, man, thanks for coming through, man. It's Sunday. I know it's chill, not a lot of people today, but, upcoming week, I'm working on getting Agaba to come back. Because there's some development in Uganda. There's some good business happening over there. So I want to get Agaba to come back and tell us about repatriation, investment in Uganda, the Ugandan economy. Also, I'm working on talking to some Zambian creators. I'll hopefully bring some creators from Zambia on the channel to talk to us about all the things that is going on over there. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that's about it. Who we got here, man? How about the Uganda? How about Uganda? Oh,
she's cute.
Yeah, no, bro. Africa is the future, man. You guys are gonna be here. I'll be gone. My ass is gone, bro. My ass is gone. Ooh.
Yeah, my future wife has to be African. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's non-negotiable. Oh no. I'm going, man. I am going home. Ooh, no. On that note, salute to you. Thanks for that super yogi. Thanks, brother. You enjoy your evening. We'll be back here, man. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the show. Glitter says she wants 6-foot frame. Yeah, I think she's just saying that to put you off, man. Glitters need you to pay Lobola. You know Lobola? $10,000. $10,000, man. You need for Glitters, Lobola is 10,000 for negotiation, 10,000 bride price. So put up 20,000. Rainbow the God. And then I'll be the family representative, diaspora representation. And then we'll take you to Ethiopia to do the rest. It has to be traditional. We don't play games, The women of the Nana show, you have to pay up. These are high end. You know what I'm saying? High end. Akinyi, Glitters, our women. We know our women on our channel. Akinyi, Glitters, 20,000 just to start negotiation. That's the entry for negotiation, 20,000. Then you have to fly first class to to Addis Ababa. You have to fly first class to Addis Ababa, and we get the families together. Then if you qualify, she will then do the rest. You know what I'm saying? But start working your money up, because the women of the Nana show are they come at a price. Yeah, you have to be very traditional. This is a traditional show, so you have to come with the tradition. You need to prepare your daishiki, Make sure that you are ready for the traditional ceremony. 2 weddings, the traditional one and the white one. Okay, $50,000 for the wedding alone. $50,000 for the wedding. So go work your money up before you talk rubbish on Rainbow. Go work your money up before you talk rubbish on the chat, because the women of the Nana show are special women. Yeah, no, 10K is the entry dowry. That's the negotiation dowry. The 10K is the negotiation, bro. That's just for me to consider. Then the business class tickets. You got to buy business class tickets to go to Addis Ababa. Then we will congregate. When you get to Addis Ababa, we start negotiations. We negotiate with the family in Addis Ababa. Then the wedding, there's 2 weddings. You have to do an Ethiopian wedding, and then you have to do the white wedding. So this marriage will cost you at least $80,000 just to get in, you know. So if you're not ready, just come with me to Lesotho. Lesotho, you get it at a discount, but the women on the Nana show, they come at the price. These are westernized African women on the Nana show. They are not playing games, okay? You need to buy real gold, not some fake jewelry. Okay? You need to come through some cultural integration, because nowadays you men, you are killing the women. So I need to vet you guys to make sure that you're not gonna kill my sister. So that vetting is another $5,000 for me to hire a private investigator to vet whether you're full of shit or not. But I know Rainbow the God is a real deal. He's a good guy. Rainbow is a good guy. But Rainbow, for me to go to Africa to stand for you in Lobola negotiations, I need you to come up at least minimum for the wedding, Lobola, everything, $50,000. If you don't have that, go back to work. When you're done, let me know. Hit me up. You got my email. Hit me up. Then I'll present it to Glitters' family. And if they think you qualify, it's called negotiations. Okay, we will negotiate. Welcome to the family, Rainbow the God. Salute to Yogi, man. Thanks for being here today, bro. I appreciate you, man. Sub-Saharan is in the house. Glitters is in the house. Salute to Rainbow the God. Man, Rainbow has been with us from day one, man. I appreciate you, bro. Flex is in the house. Flex is in the house, man. Yogi. Who else? Am I missing anybody? Salute to Laughing Like Sagat for coming on the call today. You know, who are we missing? I got everybody. Y'all have a great night. It's Sunday. I hope you go to work tomorrow, man. Work hard tomorrow. Somebody saying, come on. Yeah, work out tomorrow, man. Go out there, conquer the world, man. Go winning. Keep winning. Bro, I think I bought 7 cows, six cows for bride dowry. I'm still paying for it. So yeah, it's not cheap to marry an African woman, man. So yeah, you gotta come up with some money. Gotta come up with some money, bro. If you ain't got no money, if you don't want to pay, you got Keisha. Hey, you ain't got to pay no dowry for Keisha, man. Keisha is no dowry. So you can have Keisha. But if you want the African sister, you got to pay some money, bro. Yes, I'll vouch for you, man, but you got to pay the dowry. That's just a game, bro. The dowry is non-negotiable. The dowry is non-negotiable, bro. So you got to put up the dowry, man. You got to put up the dowry, you know. And then the 2 weddings, you got to do the wedding in Ethiopia, and then you have to do the other wedding right here in the USA. Because you're going to get a very good wife. Okay? Greatest will cook for you, she'll take care of you, she'll respect you, she'll give you some beautiful babies. You see? And you have a peace of mind, which will allow you to go out there and work hard and make more money. But outside of that, you are stuck with Keisha. Keisha is not doing that for you, bro. So yeah, work it up, man. 80K is a discount. 80K is with the Nana K discount, bro. 80K is with the Nana K discount. All right, my good people. Y'all, good night. Good night. We'll see y'all tomorrow. I give you a loan and you do bullshit, then I lose my money, bro. No. You got to come up with the money, man. You got to come up with the money. Come up with the money. Hey, I'll tell you one thing. If you do a good job as a husband, after 20 years, we'll do sometimes it's 15 years. 15 years. When a family thinks you're capable, they'll do what they call matebeto. You should Google it. You should look it up. Matebeto. Mostly in Southern Africa, they do something called a matebeto. The matebeto it's like another wedding, but this time it's a wedding for the man. They do it to thank you for being a good husband. So all of us, we are working towards the family welcoming me to get a matebeto. That's what I'm hoping to get next, That's why even when my wife does bullshit, I just stick around because I'm like trying to get that ultimate prize of a matebeto. A matebeto, as a man, it will raise your respect level to the next level. So right now I have some respect, but once I get matebeto, my respect will move to the next. This is what I'm working towards. It's like the next level of respect. So yeah, check on YouTube and look at matebeto ceremonies. It's very, very beautiful. We just came from one in Zambia in October. My wife's sister had a matebeto after 30 years. 30 years, man. 30-year matebeto. So it's a big deal. There's a reward for the man if they can hold the marriage for that long, And that's something maybe we should introduce in Black culture in America. Like, hey, guys, if we can, maybe pick this from the Africans. If we can hold our marriages for 20 years, 30 years, there's a reward. It'll put you to kind of stick around. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is why I think I agree with Sagat, man. I think the Black folks in America can really turn a page by working with the African brothers, because that's the only way, man. This other way, this Tariq way of going, nah, it's not it, man. It's not it. But until then, man, I'll see you guys in Lesotho on a live stream as we look for the second wife. Okay? If you don't give me a Black American wife, I'll be in Lesotho. I'll be looking for my honey. I'll be looking for my honey in Lesotho. And on that note, good night, my good people, man. You guys don't want me to leave, but good night. Good night. I gotta go. All right, good night, fellas and ladies.